The Zera Shimshon in Parashat brings the following chidush. The pasuk writes, "Take maaser on all the produce of your fields every single year." So over here we're talking about setting aside 10% of a person's earnings so that a person could become wealthy. This is the advice of the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat. Now the pasuk says, "Aser, take maaser, take a 10% of your earning to give to charity, bishvil shetit asher, so that you will become rich." The Midrash Tanchuma writes, listen very carefully, this is a very important chidush, that it is very worthwhile to give your maaser to Talmidei Chachamim, to Torah scholars, and that helps a person to become wealthy. Wow, we just found the segula to become wealthy right now. Now, Yisachar and Zevulun had a partnership. Yisachar would learn Torah full-time. Zevulun would support him financially with money. So we can ask a question that the Zera Shimshon asked. Why only these two Shevatim, Yisachar and Zevulun, had a partnership? Why not the other one, Reuven, Shimon? Why not? Why only these two? Very good question. So the Zera Shimshon explains. The pasuk writes, "Rejoice, Zevulun, in your travels." That means Zevulun would travel and he would support Yisachar financially. So he had to be the businessman. He had to be the one that makes the money. But how did he make the money? He traveled overseas. So the Gemara says that there's no mazal in money that comes from traveling overseas. Let's explain. In order to make money, we could say maybe this is more, maybe in the olden days, because a person had to travel overseas and usually it was by boat or any other way, that it was a very dangerous thing to a person. And in order to succeed his mission and going and coming back, a person needed a lot of siyata dishmaya, a lot of heavenly assistance. And in order to get so much heavenly assistance, a person had a lot of miracles done to him. And that could cause a person to lose his reward that he's supposed to receive for his mitzvot. So when Hashem does a lot of miracles for a person could lose some of their reward. So this was true if a businessman was making money for himself. However, if a person traveling for business donated his maaser to worthy Torah scholars, like we said before, now it's a whole different story, because the Torah study of his partner will protect him from the dangers of the seas, and no one would lose their merits, not the traveler, the businessman, and not the Torah scholar, the Talmid Chacham. That's why Zevulun, the one who traveled, he made himself a spiritual partner, and by doing that, he made himself a protection from the dangers of the traveling overseas. Now we ask the question, why the other Shevatim didn't have this partnership? So the other Shevatim made their parnasa on land. They did not travel overseas, so they didn't need this kind of partnership, and they didn't need this kind of protection, we could say. They did their own business, and they did their own learning themselves.